Hello, Aquarius rising. Welcome to your February 2021 astrology and tarot reading. My name is Tessa, and you're watching my channel. Before I get into your reading, before I jump into the astrology portion, where I'm going to go over the planetary transits that are currently in effect through the houses in your natal chart, and then jump into oracle and tarot reading, and we're going to see what energies are coming up with the cards and how that relates to your astrology as well. I do have a couple of announcements. I am working on a website right now, TESATABOO.com. There's gonna be a lot of different stuff on there. It's 100% made by me. These guys keep emailing me and trying to get me to hire a website person or whatever. And I'm like, no, like I'm a very creative, artistic, individualistic kind of person. I like to do things my way. I like to be creative and just be me. And what better way to create something that's a reflection of you than by doing it by yourself? Okay. I'm just kind of like getting to this point where I'm just so done with giving my money out to corporations and just to all these different businesses. I'm trying to do my own business. I'm trying to do my own thing. And I think that a lot of people are really just fucking sick and tired of like not being able to create their own stability, their own long-term stability, and needing to be dependent on the government, needing to be dependent on corporations and companies and stuff like that. And people are just kind of waking up. I think a lot of people in 2020 really started to consider starting their own business and, getting to know themselves, getting to know their own worth and their own value and how they can contribute to changing the current system that we live in and to empower themselves to do something, not just to sit around and wait for a bunch of, excuse me, idiots who probably put us in this mess in the first place to tell us what to do and where to go and what's going on. And I'm just like not having it. Last year in 2020, I got into this like the moment they called a quarantine. I was already laid off from my job because I was working on the fucking cruise boats. Okay, so in the wintertime we don't really work, so I was already laid off. So that was like, but I was doing a little bit of traveling, and just trying to like, I was a little spiritually lost in the beginning of 2020 last year. And then when I came back to Chicago and they called quarantine, I was like, wow, this really fucking sucks. And like instantaneously, I knew I wasn't going to be able to just sit around my house and do nothing. And I'm like, okay, great. Let's get into some of these older projects that I started. So I ended up like getting back into my writing, and then I've always had this like this pull with like occult type of shit, like tarot and astrology and stuff like that. So instantly I was like, you know what, people are probably freaking out right now. There's probably a lot of like confusion, and I don't know, people don't really know what the heck they're gonna do and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, well, I'm not just gonna sit around and do nothing. I still want to I want to help. I want to guide people if I can, and just kind of, I don't know. I guess it was it was like very instinctual. It was like I was going off of like instinct alone. I just had this feeling, and I just got into the depths of tarot, and I taught myself, and I discovered that my intuition is actually like pretty fucking crazy, like in a good way, like I feel like this is a good path for me. So yeah, but I am a writer. That's kind of like my main thing. Yeah, so I've been working on my website and I just have to finish the blog portion of it. I'm almost done with it. I'm just really confused with the blog portion of my website and how they have that layout and design, and it's a little confusing and I just have to figure that out. But I have my first post ready to go, so I'm excited to see what kind of blog stuff I'm gonna have for you guys. What else? Oh, I did get my Pink Floyd t-shirt in the mail. I ordered it from Amazon. I used to study psychology and I always backed up Freud. Like even when Carl Jung became this like hot trend in our culture and everyone was like all about the archetypes and the collective consciousness, and like that's all fine and dandy, but if you can't integrate the shadow, if you can't get to know your own drive, your own instinct, the like the shadow side of yourself that you are like driven by, that Mars energy that we all have deep inside us, it's just, you're not a fully developed human being, okay? And I always kind of liked Freud because he criticized America a lot, and I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. Sorry. Yeah, it's just, you know, we just need to get stronger. Okay, psychologically, spiritually, emotionally, we need to be stronger. We need to understand ourselves at a core level. We need to understand some of our more subconscious and unconscious energies and what we're being driven by, because if you don't understand that part of yourself, that shadow aspect of yourself, those darker psychological aspects of yourself, and if you keep pushing that part of you down, that like darker part of you down, and you keep pushing it and repressing it, that energy, it spills over in other ways. It comes out in war-like ways. It comes out in really, really ugly ways. And you know, the earth, we're kind of seeing it right now. The earth is just like has enough. Like it's almost like using your own soul as a fucking what do you call it, like a landfill. Okay, like you just throw trash, you throw the shit, the part of yourself that you don't want in a landfill until Earth is just like, what the fuck is your problem, you know? It just, the human experience, the human soul, the human spirit is not meant to live that way. The human spirit is not meant to shut out all the different energies in favor of some like, you know, like happy-go-lucky illusion that people just buy into, and they just buy into it and they buy into it, and it's a fucking illusion. Okay, I'm sorry. I was wondering if like, because yesterday I was kind of going on little rants and just kind of in my YouTube videos, and it like I was wondering if it was gonna come out today because I went for a walk today and it was a really nice peaceful walk. But like this is just stuff that's just like sitting inside of me, and you know, it's and it needs to be spoken, and you know, it needs to be said, because you know, you don't have to agree with me. Like, I'm not here to try to coerce anybody. Like, that's kind of the issue that's going on in our society right now. Like, the media and people are just like so easily manipulated, and people just like, you know, want to follow the crowd, and like, you know, like people don't think for themselves anymore. People don't have their own opinions. It's like I go on my Facebook and it's just like everybody has the same fucking opinion, and it's like when did we stop using our minds? When did we stop educating ourselves? When did we stop having our own opinions? And I understand in America, it's like a whole big issue because some people are afraid to say what they really think. People are literally like afraid to say what they think and to say their own opinions. And that is like not the way for humanity at all. That's absolutely horrible. That's literally like the devil in disguise. So that's why I'm here. TESA Taboo. We're here to talk about the shadow. We're here to integrate the shadow. We're here to integrate our feelings, what we feel. Like, hello, we're human. We're not effing robots. Okay? So hello, Aquarius. This is my introduction for you, okay? So this is my little Freudian spiel. Okay, so we're gonna get into your astrology. I'm gonna go over the planetary transits that are in effect for you guys. And then we're going to get into the tarot portion. Okay, so we have the sun currently in Aquarius, and I'm going to talk about some of the more intense, like bigger energies, and then we're going to kind of go from there, okay? So we have the sun in Aquarius, we have Mercury in Aquarius, Venus is moving into Aquarius February 1st, and then of course we have the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction in Aquarius. I think they're like 5 degrees apart right now. So Jupiter is slowly moving away from Saturn. It's going to enter Pisces, I believe, in May. But yeah, so lots of energies for Aquarius, and then on February 11th, that is going to be like some really, really big Aquarius energy, because we're going to have a new moon in Aquarius, so we're going to have 6 astrological planets in your sign of Aquarius, and this is all transiting your first house of self, ego, and just like the way that you assert yourself in the world, and how you view your own, you know, kind of personality, okay? It's the self. So February, there's probably just going to be, you know, you're probably just going to be like in that, you know, your mind might be extremely active. I feel like you're going to be really looking at yourself a lot. I feel like you're going to be like analyzing yourself and maybe trying to get through some breakthroughs in your own mind and your own intellect with your own emotions. So it's probably just going to be a lot of like I don't know, maybe self-analysis or self-contemplation, or just kind of figuring things out, you know, just in general, figuring out like maybe who you are, where you stand, what your opinions are, what your thoughts are, what's the deal, you know? So that's kind of how I see this Aquarius energy. And then of course, once I pull the tarot cards, we're going to kind of evolve on that. So the other big energies taking place, we have Mars in Taurus and Uranus in Taurus, and they are conjunct in your 4th house of home, family, roots, childhood, okay? So as we know, Mars is the planet of action, aggression, passion, anger, drive. Uranus is the planet of revolution, change, innovation, revolution. So with these, and then like Taurus is the zodiac sign that represents value and personal possessions, and what it is we value and how we create our stability, how we create stability and security for ourselves in a way that makes us feel comfortable and just like, you know, that makes us feel good, okay? So there could be a lot of changes and dynamic things going on with your relationship with your family or with your childhood. Like the way that you think of your family, the way that you relate to your family could be changing. The way that you reflect on your childhood could start to take new meaning. And you could start to feel a sense of, you know, maybe you want to create something more stable for yourself. You know, you could start to feel more like, okay, well, how can I like be myself, be an individual, create change, but still like have a stable life? You know, you still want to have a stable home life. You want to, you know, evolve in the world with a feeling like you can create security and stability for yourself long term, not just like living paycheck to paycheck. You know what I'm saying? Because that Uranus energy, Aquarius energy, is kind of has that like unpredictableness to it, where it's like you're always in this like you feel like you always need to be like, even though you crave stability and even though you crave security, you feel like you always need to be in this you feel like you always need to project yourself in this like very adaptable and very things are always changing kind of manner. Okay, that's kind of, there's like this inside part of you, and then there's like this outside part of you. Okay, and then we have Neptune in Pisces, and that's in your second house. Neptune has been in Pisces for a while now. It's going to be in Pisces for at least another 8 or 9 years. And this energy is not as is in our face as some of the other energies, just because it's kind of been there for a while. Same with like Pluto and Capricorn. I think that we're feeling the Pluto and Capricorn a little bit more now because there's so many changes. And we're not really as aware of the fact that there is an underlying current that is pushing us forward, and this current is the Neptune in Pisces. Okay, Neptune in Pisces is complementary. These are Neptune is in its home when it is in Pisces, okay? And this is all about dreams. It kind of creates this stream of consciousness. It creates a bridge between all these different paths. Okay, we're all on our own path. We all have our own opinion. One person is going this way, one person is going that way, one person is on this side, one person is on that side. But the Neptune in Pisces allows us to still stay on the same stream. We're still being pulled, even if like one person is coming from this side of the river and another person is coming from this side of the river. We still have to go down the same river. So we're all flowing down the same river. And it's a stream of consciousness. These are the waters of creativity. These are the waters of spirituality. These are the waters that are pushing us forward towards like a more creative and boundless understanding of humanity. Okay, that we are all connected. That we are all like part of the earth and whatever, even if we do have different viewpoints or whatever. So Neptune in Pisces, so this is like this underlying energy that has been pushing us forward for a while now. It's going to continue push us forward basically until we like get it. So there's this underlying current kind of taking place that exists in the realm of creativity and spirituality, okay? And we have access to this. Everybody has access to this. And this is in your second house. The natural ruler of the second house is Taurus. So this is in your second house, which represents your possessions, your values, what you find valuable, what is important to you, what could create your stability. So the way that I kind of automatically deciphers this is like creativity, okay? So whatever creative project or spiritual project that you're working on, this can create long-term stability in your life, okay? It is possible. So, okay, and then we have Pluto in Capricorn in your 12th house. Okay, so Pluto, as we know, is the planet of transformation, death, rebirth, sex, other people's money. Capricorn is the zodiac sign of hard work, social status, things like that, establishment. So we're all undergoing a huge transformation as far as the like government is concerned. We're actually in our Pluto return for the United States of America. At the signing of the Declaration of Independence, Pluto was in Capricorn, so now we're undergoing the return. So that's probably why we're having some really humongous changes going on here. And this is in your 12th house of isolation, spirituality. The 12th house's natural ruler is Pisces and Neptune. So this is in the house of your dreams and in your like creativity, okay? So there's probably just like, you're probably just undergoing a lot of changes, and there's a lot of changes happening here when it comes to your ideas of spirituality, and it connects very much to that Neptune energy, okay? Because these changes are taking place, because these big global and governmental and establishment kind of things are breaking down, okay? It's wanting to push a new vision into the world. It's wanting to push a new vision into the world. And for you, that vision needs to take place in a very spiritual kind of realm, okay, and a very creative kind of realm, because that creativity, whatever it is that you are being inspired by, it is going to help guide the future. It is going to help a new vision become born. Okay, I hope that makes sense. February 1st, we're gonna have a moon in Libra. That's in your 9th house of long distance travel, higher learning. So I would just say for February 1st, just kind of set that intention to balance out your own mind, okay? Because you're gonna have a lot of different things going on in your head for February. You could get confused at some points, but it's really nothing to like overthink or worry about. Just think about balance. Think about how you want to categorize the different things that are going on in your head and create harmony within your own intellect, okay? And then at the end of the month, on the 27th, we're going to have a full moon in Virgo in your 8th house of the unconscious, sex, death, rebirth, and other people's money. So towards the end of the month, you could receive maybe some payment of some kind, or you could receive some kind of like information that triggers something inside of you to really look at the details of something that you're working on, okay, and to maybe understand something a little bit closer, okay, in regards to your own like process, your own like thought process. Okay, so I'm kind of speeding up just a little bit because I did take a long time with my introduction, but I'm going to go ahead and start playing. So that's the astrological portion, and then I'm going to relate the cards to the astrology as well. So I'm going to pull 3 cards from the Enchanted Map Oracle, and then we're going to pull cards from Tarot of the Divine. My scream, my little scream. Okay. All right, so let's see how this relates. So we have spark. I definitely think of this as kind of like related to this Neptune and Pisces energy, spark. So some kind of a spark of creativity. Maybe you get an idea and you want to kind of run with that idea. I also think of this as related to that 8th house energy at the end of the month with the full moon. When the full moon goes into Virgo, Virgo is very intellectual energy. Virgo is very analytical kind of energy. So that full moon could kind of bring something into your mind that sparks you into like a direction or into an understanding of some kind. Education, okay. So this I think of as related to the 1st of the month. Education has a lot to do with higher learning. I relate this to Sagittarius energy. I relate this to that 9th house energy that I was referring to, where the moon is going to be in Libra, and you have Libra in your 9th house, which is all about balance and harmony. So it's really just going to be about balancing out the information that you receive, balancing out the different things that you're learning right now. I feel like you're really going to accumulate a lot of maybe information, not even from the outside world, but like about yourself. Okay, accumulate a lot of information, and it's really going to be important to balance out that information and to kind of try and understand those different aspects to yourself and kind of categorize and maybe just have like a higher level of understanding with your own energy, you know, or with your own kind of like force in the world, I guess. And then we have flying. So I definitely see this as like that 1st house with all that Aquarius stuff going on in your 1st house of self. You could really, like, your energy might be really, really high this month. Like you feel like you're flying, like you just can't sit still. You're ready to break out of your house. You're ready to just like kind of explode a little bit, you know. There could be like different energies that kind of trigger you around you. I think that February, I feel like February is going to be a very triggering month for a lot of people. Okay, so flying, so just kind of like, I definitely see that as like your mind kind of flying and going in lots of different directions and just kind of like being very stimulated. Okay. It could also be related to the 4th house. Wanting to establish that sense of stability for yourself in your own way. I try not to go over 30 minutes in my videos, but sometimes it just doesn't work that way. Oh my goodness, my allergies. Okay, we're starting with the moon. Ooh, whenever I pull a moon for Aquarius, I'm just like, So this is Pisces energy. Okay, so there's just like a lot of reflecting. Okay, lots of reflecting going on, especially in regards to this this like stream down here. You know, you're standing over the bridge, but you're looking at the moon over here, and maybe you need to be looking down at the water. Maybe you should be looking at the reflection, not like maybe like don't focus in so much on the like science. I've been on this whole weird science thing lately too, like science versus spirituality. Anyway, don't focus too much on the illusion. You would think that this is the illusion down here. You would think that that's the illusion. But I don't know. Maybe you need to turn around and look down at the water and reflect on yourself a little bit more instead of getting too caught up in the illusion of yourself. Does that make sense? Am I being confusing? I don't know. I'm not trying to complicate things. It's just like, okay, so... Okay, think of the water. This is the soul. This is how you understand yourself on a deep level, okay? And the soul, it's in a constant state of flux. It's always changing and moving. It's the undercurrent. This is your own divine, this down here, the water where the moon is being reflected, that's your divinity. That's your divine intuition. That doesn't mean that the moon is not there, but I don't know if that makes sense. But like it creates this, the moon creates this illusion that it's just that's that reality, that is, it's a reflection. I guess you can say science is like a reflection of spirituality. I don't know. I don't really know where I'm going with this. Let's see. Knight of Wands, Sagittarius energy, 9th house, higher learning. Okay, taking action towards your higher purpose. Yeah. Because you have Sagittarius in your 11th house, and 11th house's natural ruler is Aquarius. 11th house is about networking, the bigger picture, innovation, revolution, things like that. And you have Sagittarius there. Yeah, this is definitely about understanding the bigger picture in a much more enlightened kind of way. Okay, like really kind of understanding a bigger thing going on here, and like it's like you're taking action to want to learn more. I feel like you're kind of like craving knowledge. You're craving knowledge. 3 of Wands, Sun in Aries, waiting. You have Aries in your 3rd house of friendship and short distance travel. waiting to work with others, waiting for others to step up. Maybe you're waiting for others to step up. You're kind of like, you're getting a little anxious, you're getting a little impatient. Death, Scorpio energy. This is in your 10th house of work, career, transformation in the work area. Something is ending in regards to work and career. Maybe you're changing jobs, or something is coming to an end in the realm of work and career. I feel like maybe someone is leaving. It could be like a friend. Some people who are not pulling their weight, or a friend of yours is leaving, or someone is not acting. I don't know, there's some changes going on. Someone is not acting or going through the proper, they're not doing the work of transformation. They're not taking responsibility. It's kind of like this feeling of, I don't know, there's some people around you who are maybe being a little like deceiving or sneaky, or just like, I don't know. It's hard to, Ace of Cups. A new beginning in love. This could also be you. I don't know. I feel like you're trying to open your heart. You're trying to be a little more emotional, maybe, or you're trying to allow yourself to be guided more by love and compassion and empathy, and just like beauty and just like unconditional love. But there's like this lingering, I don't know, I feel like there's this lingering feeling around you. There's this like unsettling, feeling around you. And I mean, it could very much be the energy of like the pandemic, of death. Like death is around you. But I also feel like you're a little frustrated. I feel like you're a little frustrated because I feel like some people around you aren't taking responsibility for themselves. They aren't allowing themselves to go through these transformations of like death and rebirth and learning about themselves, like maybe they're very stubborn. Maybe you have some very stubborn people around you who just want power. They just want to be in control of everything. Scorpio energy is very much about power, control. They don't want to let go of control and power. And that could be very irritating for you because it's kind of like an ego thing. There could be some people around you who have really big egos and you're just kind of like, oh my God, like give it a rest, give it a break. The Hermit, Virgo energy. You have Virgo in your 8th house, yeah. And it's like, it could be causing you to just like retreat. It's like you don't even want to be around anybody. It could cause you to like want to spend time by yourself, to retreat, to just work on yourself, work on your own spirituality, work on your projects, learn. Hermit is all about learning. They're about taking that time by themselves to just learn and to accumulate knowledge and to go down that path of higher learning, to understand a little bit more. And it could be within the realms of the occult. It could be because it's taking place in your 8th house. It could be within the realms of like death and transformation, and just kind of like understanding yourself on a deeper level, going through the shadow work, not being afraid of it, you know, not being afraid to tap into those depths, those waters, become a more whole person and a more like whole human being. Okay, maybe just because of like, you know, the energy that you're feeling around you. For the final card, we have the Three of Swords. This is Saturn in Libra, 9th house. There's something that you need to see. Something that you're still maybe not seeing. There's some kind of hurt. I feel like this is still connected to maybe some people at your work. Something has hurt you, or something is hurting you. And you have to start to look at things from different perspectives. So you don't become like, sucked into this pain of like hurt and I don't know, maybe like you're just really disappointed with the way things are going right now. You're really disappointed with how people around you are acting, maybe friends or coworkers or people that you are involved with creatively. The way that people are kind of like abusing this Aquarius energy, like the way that people are just kind of not taking responsibility, and it's like bothering you. It's kind of bothering you maybe that other people don't care, that people are still acting very selfish, and they're not really understanding you. They're not understanding like the work that you're putting in. They're not understanding your like how much you care, and they're just kind of like taking advantage and acting like it's all about them. So I feel like maybe this is something that's really like hurting you right now, and it's like causing you to want to like retreat and go and be by yourself a little bit and just kind of like, you know, regroup, and just kind of maybe try to understand like a little bit more as to why they are acting that way, or like how to maybe get them out of that energy. I don't know, like just, you know, your higher mind is going to start to get triggered, and it looks like you just need to like spend time with yourself and get into the depths of your own shadow, okay, and of your own like subconscious, okay. All right, Aquarius, I hope this reading helped. Hopefully it made sense. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.